Alright guys, welcome back to another video here on the John Doc YouTube channel. We are at TCAM Performance, as you can tell by this, I'd say, amazingly clean shop. So we are standing here with Kevin. We got a set of heads here, and they are doing a Top Fuel Hoop giveaway for this month. They're going to pick a winner at the end of the month. And you guys have seen all of our stuff get Top Fuel Hooped, how well it works, and now is your chance to have this awesome setup on your engine at home. So Kevin, real quick, just explain to them what the Top Fuel Hoop system is and how they can win it.
Well, basically, we've talked about this for a while now. We do, I guess, hundreds now, different motors, different brands, engine families, don't matter, we do it all. With that being said, you know, send your stuff here. We'll do your hoops and your cylinder heads. We'll do the receivers in the block for you. It's all included in the giveaway. That's nasty. You want to throw in some head gaskets for you.
Complete package. You're ready to go.
Complete package. Now you can't send in. You can send in a complete motor, but obviously that part of it's not free. But
so you want to send in a bare block and a set of heads.
And we'll take care of it from there. Now, if you want any other machine work, we're happy to do that as well. In the giveaway, though, it's going to be a Top Fuel Hoop system, ready to go.
The ultimate head gasket seal.
You know, this is how you seal motors. I mean, just as far as sealing the head gasket, that's what's going to do it.
And it's worked for us. 40 plus pounds of boost on an LS, absolutely insane. And like Kevin said, it doesn't matter what engine you got, you could Top Fuel Hoop it. So whether it's big block, small block, Ford, Chevy, it doesn't matter. A Coyote motor, I mean, put Top Fuel Hoops on there. You don't have to worry about head gaskets anymore. And like he said, you get the whole system with a copper head gasket as well. And all you have to do to enter is very simple. Similar to my giveaway, you go down to the description below. I got the link to the TCAM Performance website. They got a bunch of brand new apparel that's absolutely awesome. So not only can you be looking good, but you can get a set of Top Fuel Hoops. First link in the description below is the link to the TCAM Performance website. So go there, check it out. Every item you purchase is an entry to win a set of Top Fuel Hoops. A winner will be picked at the end of the month, and there's a chance to get what we got, the Top Fuel Hoop system. 2020 racing season. I mean, if you want to bust some ass, this is how to do it. All right, y'all. Up here at TKM, I know everyone's been waiting for a video like this. We have the disassembled version of the new Black Sheep 2.0 engine, and we got our tour guide Cornbread here. So I did a pretty good job destroying the old motor. Really nothing worth anything was.
Actually, we'll show that block too.
Oh no, I haven't seen it yet. Is it?
We'll show it.
Is it sad?
You did a good job.
All right.
Real good job.
Well, I mentioned in a previous video we made the change. We're going from an LSR block, which is our last block. Dart, the guys over at Dart absolutely hooked us up, helped us out a bunch. We are running their Dart. Is this just their aluminum?
Aluminum Dart necks.
So this is the.
This is probably one of the best cast aluminum blocks for an LS. When they start out, they done big main bolts. It's got splayed caps on it, billet caps.
So what is a split? So for everyone at home, a splayed cap is what?
You got your angled side bolts in here, or I don't know if you call them side bolts, but angled bolts here. The front and rear are straight, you know. So I guess it just helps be real rigid. This is what small block Chevrolet's done for years, and it's always worked. No side bolts on these blocks like your LSR, your stock LS blocks have side bolts. I guess, you know, Dart thought this was a better idea, been used for years.
And one thing that I think the main difference, if we look in here compared to the LSR, now I'm not talking smack on anyone at all.
And it's real nice because in here, it's the block is solid. Let's go over here and look at you know, looking at this LSR here. You know, you're cut through here, you just lose meat, you know, and this seems to be the death of some blocks. You know, they all got holes in them.
And there's nothing really wrong with there's nothing wrong with the LSR block at all. You guys saw how far we went with it.
It's a killer block.
But we're talking about longevity at an extremely high horsepower.
High power. So I like that it's you know, solid in the main weapons. You know, this is the extended pan rail, so you can run your standard style pans. And then it's got a real nice sleeve in it. So this one they actually already half-inch studded for you. So we'll go in and first we'll bolt something here, and what we call is seat the sleeves. Nick will put 4 bolts in here, and he'll put a puck in here and torque it down to make sure that sleeve is all the way seated. Reason is some places don't do that. Then when you go in and deck everything, bolt the motor together, it gets hot. Well, the sleeve may sink a little bit and immediately have a head gasket problem.
So that's just extra insurance that you guys do.
One extra step that we go through to make sure everything is like it should be. So we'll seat the sleeves. Nick will come in and deck it, and then we'll come back and profile deck it to
which is where the sleeve itself, being an iron sleeve, aluminum deck, the sleeve is raised.
The sleeve will be proud, you know, a few thou out of the block.
It's secret. We can't tell everyone what you guys do.
And then we'll go in and we'll hoop it. You know, first of all, before we do any of that, we're going to fill this block solid, rough block.
Running on alcohol, don't have to worry about any cooling system.
No water.
That helps with strength, rigidity also?
Yeah, it'll help to keep the cylinders and the aluminum from moving around down in the, you know, bottom side of the block. But yeah, we'll do all our tricks to it. You know, we'll check lifter bore clearance, stuff like that. Then it'll come over. Once Nick's done all his magic to it, then I'll hone it.
That's where all the magic happens.
Yeah. So I'll hone it. Well, it's 4125.
4125, yep.
4125 on this 4-inch crank. Then I'll line hone it, set your main bearing clearance, check everything, and then we'll have to balance it. This crank looked like it was rough balance from Cali's. But once we weigh the rod and everything, I'm sure we'll have to do something to it.
So we're starting from scratch. We're going ground up, whole new build, similar engine, still going with the 427, but I mentioned previously, and some people at home don't really understand, the last engine was really like a street engine. The pistons weren't fully skirted, the rod wasn't set up for what it's going to do. I mean, we never intended to make the power, that it did, and it had a great life, you know. It partied hard, it lived short though.
You guys had a good time with it, and the motor ran killer. So this time we starting to build a race motor.
Yep.
Not a street motor in a race car.
So I'm super excited about this block. From Dart, they already came with the upgraded mains, the head studs, and they put the sleeves in it. So you can get them a number of different ways from Dart. But these guys absolutely knocked out of the park, and I'm super excited about this because I think that this block right here can not only allow us to achieve our goal, but maybe even surpass it, as long as I don't grab that scramble button.
Right. Well, you're probably looking to be in the 25 to 2700 horse to the tire.
Yeah.
So, you know, this thing's going to make a lot of power. Also,
this is also related to Dart. MGP, they are like a sister company.
Yeah, it's a real nice rod. It's aluminum rod. Obviously, you can see it's a lot beefier. Got a L19 rod bolt in here. This thing will handle the shock where your other rod
just folded. Yes, and you can, just looking at this compared to the other rods, the other rods were a badass rod.
Yep.
They were killer, and they did a great job making that kind of power. But this thing is a tank.
This will handle everything that you want to do with it. You know, so killer block, killer rod. Obviously,
the crank.
Killer crankshaft. Cali's Ultra Billet.
God, look at that. It's almost a shame we have to put all this stuff inside the engine.
Yeah, they've done their finish on it. Center counterweighted, helps with flex and harmonics. So, killer crank, killer block, killer rod, and then, next will just be, we'll do a set of Y-scopes.
So these are your pistons for your engine. What are you building? So everyone's seen your car on the channel. BPF turbo kit. It's over at Joe C's Dieter's Custom Finishing. The polish on it looks insane. And so what is your setup?
Mine will be an LSR block. That's my block that we looked at. I'm going to do Dragon Slayer, GRP, or MGP. I'm not sure which you have in order. Aluminum rod, and then a 4155 bore.
So here's the big difference when we say like a race piston opposed to like a street piston.
This is called a full bottom deal. This is why you can't run a reluctor, because once it comes down, it'll want to dig into the reluctor. So we'll knock this off and run there's several different combinations you can run out here for signal.
We have like an MSD crank signal, goes right through the Holley, and it works great.
Right. So you got a full bottom. It just helps make the piston a lot stronger. A lot of these won't have this here. They'll have little struts kicked out. And actually, I think you and Sammy done a video a while back, actually on your 5.3.
Yep.
With a full bottom, and he described the differences. This one is actually is a 9, be a 990 pin.
So this is what pin would this be out of? Is this like a small block pin, or is this just an upgraded
No,
pin?
this is just an upgraded. Most of your stuff's 927. This is a 990 deal, but what we're building you now is a race bike.
Yeah. So there's no, when I get my ass busted out there, I can't be like, well, it's only a street motor. That excuse is gone. No.
It's a street car. It's a race car now. But yeah, I mean, this thing will handle some steam. I don't know if it'll handle all your scramble buttons.
No. Well, I think we're going to remove that from the equation. They're just going to have like a fake scramble button. I'll press it and something will pop up on the dash. But overall, I mean,
this is the parts that you're going to use, to build a motor for what y'all want to do.
Way stronger parts.
Way stronger.
I mean, everything just looks bigger and beefier, and just a lot, burlier than everything else that we've run.
The whole time we was worried about the rod in that motor.
And we were all aware of it.
Yeah, and we didn't know how far it would go. You guys took it way farther than we ever thought it should go. But it's your motor. But now you're stepping up to real parts.
Yeah.
Parts.
So this stuff here, it will take the blow. Now, one thing I do want to say, so everyone at home that's like, well, I'm just going to go with aluminum rods. I'd say the only real downside with the aluminum rod is the lifespan of it. And really, in an application like this, it's not like where it's in a Hemi where every 30 passes you're changing rods.
Right. Well, we had a set of MGPs in here. It was a small block Chevrolet. We had 160 data logs on it, 160 passes. We took it apart. The big end still measured good. The small end was measured perfect. He decided, going off the theory of so many passes, let's get rid of them. He cycled them out. But, the car was, it was probably a 420 car.
Yeah.
At 160 passes, the rods still measured great. They were also MGP.
That's awesome. So that's really, history tells that, aluminum rods, you have a limited lifespan and limited runs. But, really, you hear that, that's promising for sure. Chris's Silverback motor has the MGP rods in it. My 5.3 motor has the MGP rods in it. So,
it's a killer rod.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with it.
It'll do everything y'all are looking to do.
And I do want to say this. It's a hell of a lot cheaper than a badass like billet I-beam. The aluminum rod is a lot cheaper.
The problem is, once you get in here with the block, once you start stuffing this big rod in here.
That's what she said.
Michael, please.
We'll have to go in here and notch out some of the, right below the cylinder.
Just clearance it a little bit.
Because the rod is so much fatter, beefier, so you got to give it some wiggle room.
Now, is that FAT or PHAT?
PHAT.
Okay, good.
So, you can see Dart goes in here and marks it for where a standard rod and probably a 4-inch stroke would come in here and get it. You'd probably still have to cut a little bit of sleeve out of here.
Yep.
But that's what a steel rod is. When we go in here with aluminum, we'll have to notch it all up, it all out.
And that is why I let you guys do this.
All that's done in the CNCs, nickel mock it up, mark everything, and we actually have a couple programs for these Dart blocks already.
Could you imagine me at the shop with a Dremel being like,
It takes a long time.
yeah, I could destroy one of these before they even run.
You'd eat right through the wall. But I think what you're gonna have now will be a
pretty
serious small block Ford killer.
Oh wow, was that a shot at Devin?
You probably did, Devin.
Wow.
Devin.
Your daddy right here coming together. Well, the last thing I want to talk about is the cylinder head. So we were running these mast heads before, and this is actually the one that took the blow. This is...
Yeah, and Dustin, he can explain this head to you, what all he's done and what's going down.
So, Dustin, I made you do some work. Yeah. This is the one that we stuck the borescope in at the track. I believe you told me that it looked fine. at the track. Is that what you said? It's fired up, running next pass?
I guess we'll have to let everybody remember.
Yeah, I bet I can fire it up right now. Complete destruction. Valves, I destroyed a lot of valves. I damaged the head. Talk me through what your game plan was and what you did so far.
Well, obviously we surveyed the damage, and we checked the chamber and looked through this guy the best we could look through it, and came to the conclusion that really all it did was dent the chamber up. It didn't really crack anything or shatter anything. It didn't get down between runners here, which is good. I mean, we see sometimes, an intake valve the head will come right off the stem, and that thing will go a knife edge right down through there.
And that's not good.
That's not good. That's never good. I mean, it can be fixed, but it's a lot more work. So, actually the damage was pretty minimal. Considering, the timing chain came loose.
Oh yeah.
Pistons actually made contact.
I think
you only got one chamber.
Did I ruin all of my new exhaust valves? I think they were all ruined.
I think so.
Yeah. Wow, shooting 100% on the exhaust valves lately.
I think there might have been one. But we had a change we needed to make those anyways.
Yep.
Remember, they were a different length, so we addressed that. But yeah, basically just went in. We were comfortable being able to weld this guy up. It did booger up the spark plug hole a little bit. We'll go in here before we actually mill this down. I'll run a time cert, an aluminum time cert right through there, and that'll actually stick out into the chamber here. And we'll put it in the mill like that. So we'll put brand new threads in the spark plug hole here, and when it runs through the mill and reshapes this chamber to what this guy is, it'll just take that time cert right down with it. You'll look at it, you'll never know there was actually a time cert put in there.
Okay. So, when I first pulled this head off, everyone at home seeing it, it looks like catastrophic damage. Everyone's like, I need a new set of heads. Repair-wise, I mean, it looks a whole lot different than it does before. By welding it up, you're going to run it through the CNC, and the finished product will look like a brand new head.
Yeah.
So
this will all look brand new in here. You'll look at the head and you'll wish that the rest of them will run too.
Are you telling me I need to do this to the other? No, don't do it. Okay. So for everyone at home, if you do have some cylinder head damage, don't throw them out. Bring them up here. You guys, most of the time, you can fix them. What is one of the things that would prevent you from being able to fix a head? If there's a crack through the actual cylinder head itself?
Yeah, if you get a crack in somewhere where it can't be welded, I mean, let's say you got a crack that goes all the way down through this chamber into the cooling jacket. Some people may try to cut all that metal out and get in there and re-weld it, but that's a large portion of new metal you put in there. And you really need to know what's going on, what the different material that you're putting in there, and the amount of heat that you're introducing to the material around it. Sometimes that amount of welding is worse for you than anything else. So you could end up with damage or failed parts down the road. But I mean, worst case scenario is you shattered the chamber.
Well, it looks a whole lot better. Next time we see it, like you said, it'll be looking probably better than the other ones. And this one's going to go right back into service and hopefully never see this again.
Hopefully not.
I don't know though. If they leave the scramble button in there, there's no promises.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
I got a lot more faith in that aluminum rod right there. So.
Hopefully, the 40 pounds of boost is the new normal. That would be the goal. Make all the horsepower.
Well,
but cylinder head wise, you think we can achieve our goal with what we're trying to do horsepower wise? NET with this head?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I know you're calling 40 the new normal. The next time we actually set the springs up on this, my new normal is going to be 50.
Oh, you know how we operate, huh?
I know where you're going with this. I'm covering my ass now.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, thank you for all your hard work. Guys, if you damage your cylinder head, don't throw it out. Call up TKM. Talk to Dustin here. I'd say most times I've seen you fix a bunch of stuff. I've seen some gnarly stuff that you fixed where the valve's like stuck in there sideways.
Yeah.
So you
at the very least, send it down to us. Let us check it out, because a lot of times it looks real bad. And once you actually get past all the crap on the surface and get to looking at it, it's just metal. And we can do pretty crazy stuff with metal. We can do whatever we want with metal.
Awesome.
So a lot of times it can be repaired.
Well, we're gonna put this one back into operation, and maybe we might just see 50 pounds of boost. Maybe. See, look, I already went from 40 to 50 that quick.
See how hard you want to turn it.
All right. Well, the new setup is definitely gonna be badass. I'm excited about it. and everyone at home now has a chance to win a set of Top Fuel hoops. Here she is. Next time you guys see this, it'll be going together. Big thank you to the guys at Dart and MGP, absolutely taking care of us. Their link's in the description below. We're gonna be flying their banner and running their sticker because without them, this wouldn't be possible. So if you guys are looking for an aftermarket block, they make them in iron, they make them in aluminum, they make them for, I mean, just about everything, whether it's LS, small block Ford, big block, small block Chevy, everything. And their heads too. I'm running their heads on the world record block. Their heads are absolutely insane, and I think I'm going to be the first LS to go a 350 with their heads. Just, is that 350s? That might be a 330 time, who knows, but I'm going to go with 350s with them. We got some bonus footage here. This is the destroyed Black Sheep engine. Honestly.
So you got in here, knocked out the aluminum, you know, that kind of supports the sleeve that's back in here, wiped it out. You was pretty rough on it. Got into the oil galley.
Yep.
I mean,
that right here is kind of the end game right there.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a pretty big problem.
And then I knocked the, do you like this? How I just punched the stand right off of it?
Knocked it right off.
Clean off?
So,
Knock off, y'all.
yeah, bent the cam, you know, so we had to beat the cam out of it. We did.
So we have a shadow box cam now?
Yeah. Hey, the very first Black Sheep,
It's going in the shadow box. I mean, y'all need to hang it from the rafters up here.
And we sent the crank out to Shaft Tech because they're probably about the best as far as fixing a crank, telling you if something's cracked or.
Outlook's not looking good though.
My opinion, I don't think it was real bad, but they're the professionals.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
So
Well,
we'll see.
that is.
We can show you the rest of them rods out here.
Oh, do they look like S's? Oh, great. This one's going into retirement. Yep, we got a badass table if anyone wants it. Hey, we got the Joe Exotic of rods right here. That thing is.
Yeah, and you can see it was some of them it was twisting the beams, but you see how bad the rod's bent. It just can't handle the power.
What is it? What was it hitting right here? What was that touching?
Was probably rubbing on the crank and the block that it was twisted so bad.
Do you think they bent the last pass, or do you think they've been slowly bending?
I think they've been probably slowly bending.
Nice.
You signed them off.
With the scramble button.
Leave the scramble to your egg.
This is my favorite rod right there. Just the old. That's not an I-beam. This is a U-beam.
Yeah.
Points back at you. The pistons are smoked as well, right? Because
yeah, I mean,
the rod bent and.
They've been beat at the bottom. This one actually hit a valve.
Wow.
So, yeah, they're junk.
That's nice. We'll leave it up to the scramble button.
Yeah.
I take no fault in this. So everything was smoked in the engine except for the balancer and front cover.
The balancer and the front cover.
All right, what can I say?
You know, the rod bearings didn't. I've seen a couple comments talking about rod bearings. Actually, the rod bearings in them.
I mean, for how much abuse?
A little bit of stuff went through them, but this is a lower bearing. You know, this is rod bearings out of it.
That's,
and,
I mean,
you know,
2,000 plus horsepower steel rod. That's a good looking bearing.
Right, and you know that goes into what Sammy and Mark know when they're checking rod bearing clearance and setting up clearances like
Sammy,
that. At the wall, bud.
Despite how you look, you might know something.
He's good.
What do they say? Blind squirrel finds a nut?
Yep, you can get a nut right now.
Well, that's what happens. So pretty much what happened was we were living life way past what everything should have, and it's held together that long.
Yeah, I mean, it was just holding in there, and then you finished it off.
So,
You know, this one's actually bent this way a little bit.
I mean, it looks good for my house. I'm sure we could find a motor to stick them in.
Sorry guys, don't worry. It'll buff out. This is your block.
Phil's getting it in today's video.
He's getting it. This is his
Phil's first 6-bolt coming up.
first aftermarket block.
2020, big moves, Phil.
We're gonna get him out of that junkyard stuff.
He just doesn't know how to do a mediocre burnout.